Okay. So I hope you are able to see the verse number on the screen. 10th canto, reading from 10th canto, verse number 25th, chapter 25th, verse number 1. The chapter name is Lord Krishna Lives Govardhan Hill. So today is the last day of Kartik, so I thought let's continue with the um, glories of Govardhan Hill, because we had covered the first glorification. The chapter number is, I think, 24 or 25th. One second. Yeah, so last year we had covered the chapter number 24, multiple commentaries of the Acharyas, and today also we'll continue with the same thing. And we can also cover, if it is possible, we will cover the 27th chapter also, which is Indra offering prayers to Krishna. Mother Surbi and Indra offering prayers to Krishna. So that also we'll try to cover. Otherwise, we'll continue next year. That will be part 3. So today will be part 2. Okay. All right. Sri Sukha Vacha Indrastadaatmanam Indrastadaatmana Pujam Vignaya Vihatam Nibha Gope Krishna Nathebhyo Nanda Vishkopaha. Synonyms: Sri Sukha Vacha, Sri Sukdev Goswami said, Indra, Lord Indra, Tada, then, Atmana, his own, Puja, worship, Vignaya, understanding, Vihatam, diverted, Nripa, O king, Parikshit, Gopebhyo, at the cowards, Krishna, Netabhya, who took Krishna as their Lord, Nanda Adibhya, headed by Nand Maharaj, Chukopaha, he became angry. Translation: Sukdev Goswami said, My dear King Parikshit, when Indra understood that this sacrifice has been put aside, he became furious with Nand Maharaj and the other coward men who were accepting Krishna as their Lord. Purport by the disciples and followers of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. At the very beginning of this chapter, Sukdev Goswami reveals the foolishness of Indra and the absurdity of his anger. Indra were frustrated because the residents of Vrindavan accepted Sri Krishna as their Lord. But the simple fact is that Sri Krishna is the Lord not only of the residents of Vrindavan, but of all that exists, including Indra himself. Thus, Indra's petulant reaction was ridiculous. As a common saying goes, pride goes before a fall. Okay. So, so what we'll be doing is we will also be reading the translations, and then I will be sharing wherever there's appropriate or some interesting commentary by the acharyas, then I will share. Otherwise, we'll only read the translations and we'll go ahead. So, okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjalaşalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishnavastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Vicharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Kadadara Shri Asadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right. So thank you all the devotees for joining and giving me opportunity to serve all of you. Okay, so there is no, I mean, we can go to next verse, next translation, and let me share the screen also. Okay, right. So Ganam, all right. So we can skip this sloka. Only wherever there is a requirement to read and share the sloka, I will share it. Otherwise, we can just go to the translation. So angry Indra sent forth the clouds of universal destruction known as Samvartak. Imagining himself the supreme controller, he spoke as follows. So this is verse number 2. Now going to verse number 3. Okay, so here I will have to share the shloka also. अहो श्रीमद् महात्म्यं गोपानां कनानौकसां कृष्णं मर्त्यम् उपाश्रित्य ये चक्रुर्देव हेलनाम्. So we can go to synonyms also. Aho, just see, Shri, because of opulence, mother of intoxication, Mahatmyam, the great extent, Gopanam of the cowards, Kanana in the forest, Ukasam, who dwell, Krishnam, Krishna, Martyam, an ordinary human, Upashtitya, taking shelter of, ye who, Chakru, have committed, Deva against the demigods, Hilam, offense. Translation, Indra said, just see how these coward men living in the forest have become so greatly intoxicated by their prosperity. They have surrendered to an ordinary human being, Krishna, and thus they have offended the gods. So here what happens, many times our acharyas, whenever there is criticism of the Lord and the devotees, then because Marada Saraswati resides on the tongues of the demigods, so our acharyas, they completely reverse the meaning, and they, instead of criticism, they glorify. So what they are saying here is that Indra is actually glorifying the Vrajvasis and the Lord. So Vishwanath Thakur, he comments, he says that the true meanings of Saraswati are as follows. Sri Mad Mahatmyam. So this already you have seen. Mad Mahatmyam you have seen in this verse, right? So he says that Mahatmyam is a Dvanda compound in the singular. How amazing are the cowards' splendor, joy, and glory. Right? So he's reversing the meaning and he's making it seem like Sri Mada Mahatmyam means Sri Cha Mada Harsha Cha Mahatmyam Cha. So basically he's expanding that three words and he's he's reversing the meaning of that. And somehow he's saying that ultimately this actually happens repeatedly in the pastimes of God, whereas any demon or any demigod, whenever they criticize the Lord or the devotees because of their false ego or because of their tendency to control, then this is a very common thing that Mother Saraswati actually cannot tolerate that. So she will reverse the meaning and she will glorify the Lord. So this is what our acharyas they do. So actually what Indra is saying is, how amazing are the cowards' splendor, joy, and glory. They showed contempt to wicked me. Deva Helanam is equal to Devasya Mama Dushtaya Helanam. Such contempt is beneficial for mortals. Okay, so he is actually criticizing himself and is glorifying the coward boys and the Lord. Now, another commentary is given in Siddhanta Pradipa. So it says that here are the nature of common people. Here the nature of common people is made to be perceived. Ordinary people, they superimpose their own faults on another person. And like Indra, they reject the authority of praiseworthy individuals. It's understood from Krishnam Martyam Upashrita that Indra, who knew the truth, because Brahma told the gods, immortals immediately hear from me the statement of the Purusha, and so on. This is in 10th canto, 1st chapter, 21 verse. Was possessed by anger and was jealous of Krishna, who is praiseworthy, was getting all the attention. So this is the commentary on verse number 3. Now, there are many acharyas who have given commentaries, but we have selected only those commentaries that are very interesting. There are different also. Otherwise, many commentaries are repetitive also. Like some of the acharyas, they repeat the same thing. So we have not selected that. Otherwise, of course, Bhagavatam, there, if you remember, we had had a session of Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, and I had mentioned this point that there are 90 extant commentaries written on the Bhagavatam, but few of them are available. In the sense, I think around 30 of them are available right now in their entirety. So we have the entire commentary on the Bhagavatam by Srila Vishwanath Thakur, Srila Jeev Goswami, Srila Sanatan Goswami, like that. And Vallabhacharya, I think he commented only on the 10th canto. So like that, there are many Acharyas. Srinath Chakravarti, even Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur also he had commented. Then Vijay Dwaj Tirth, we have Veer Raghav Acharya, we have from the Sri Sampradaya. Like that, we have many commentaries on the Srimad Bhagavatam, especially for the 10th canto. So now coming to verse number 4 to 5. For this also we'll have to refer to the sloka. Yatha dhride karmamaya kartubir nama navnibhe vidyam anvikshikim hitva titrishanti bhavar navam. Synonyms: yatha, as, adridhe, which are inadequate, karma maya, based on fruited activity, kratubi, by ritual sacrifices, nam, in name only, now nibe, which serves as boats, vidyam, knowledge, anviksikim, spiritual, hitva, abandoning, titir they try to cross beyond, bhav, arnavam, the ocean of material existence. Translation: their taking shelter of Krishna is just like foolish attempt of men who abandon transcendental knowledge of the self and instead try to cross over the great ocean of material existence in the false boats of fruitive ritual sacrifices. Okay, so let me share. Okay, for the verse number 4, Srila Sridhar Swami is the original commentator of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted him like that. And all the Acharyas who are commenting on the Bhagavatam, they give the utmost respect to Sridhar Swami and they follow in his footsteps. So Sridhar Swami says that although expressive of criticism, Indra's Bharati, which means Saraswati Devi, so she extols Krishna. And then he says that he is the source of the scriptures. Vachalam is Shastra Yonim. Though childish in this way, he is not pretentious, like a child. Balisham evam api shishuvan nira abhimanani nam. So this is how they break up the few words that are there in the original shloka and they reverse the meaning. He does not bow stabdam, since no other person is worthy of praise. No one is ignorant because of him. He is omniscient. So agyam is equal to na asti gya yasmat tam is equal to sarvagyam. Okay, now I don't know Sanskrit, and I'm not sure if any devotees in this forum they also know Sanskrit, but this is how they divide it. I'm just sharing it so that if someone probably understands something, then maybe it is useful for them. So he deserves high respect by those who know Brahman. Pandita Mani Nam is equal to Brahma Vidam Bahu Mani Manani Yam. He is Parabrahm, the form of constant bliss. Krishnam is equal to Sadanand Rupam Param Brahma. This is how they explain the meaning of particular words. Still, due to caring for his devotees, he looks human. Martyam is equal to Tathapi Bhakta Vatsalyene Manushya Taya Prati Ya Manam. This is how Sridhar Swami explains. Now, Jeev Goswami. So the commentary of Jeev Goswami is the same, but he also gives additional commentaries. And he says the real meaning is this: taking shelter of Krishna, the cowards showed contempt to the gods. Just like Vaishnavas desire to cross the ocean of material existence by taking shelter only of Krishna, after rejecting the knowledge of inquiry about the self, along with the rites and rituals. Okay, so he explains the Sanskrit in this way. He says, Yatha Vaishnavama Karmabi Sahan Vikshim Hitva Kevala Krishna Ashrayena Bhavarnavam titir shanti. This is how he explains. And then Vishwanath Thakur, he explains, he says that when the ocean of material life has turned out as calf's hoofprint, merely by taking shelter of Krishna, they just have the desire to cross, in as much as no effort is needed to cross it. So this is how they change, reverse the meaning of Indra. For verse number 5, let's go to that. Okay. I think Sridhar Swami's commentary included the verse number 5 also, but we'll go through it now. Vachalam balisam stabdam agnyam panditamaninam krishnam martyam upashritya gopame chakrur apriyam. Yeah. Vachalam, over talkative. Balisam, child. Stabdam, arrogant. Agnyam, foolish. Panditam maninam, thinking himself wise. Krishnam, Krishna. Martyam, a human being. Upashritya, taking shelter of. Gopa, the cowards. Me against me. Chakru have acted. Apriyam, unfavorably. So actually, the Acharyas, Sridhar Swami, Jeev Goswami, they have already given the commentaries for verse number 4 and 5 together. Now, Vishwanath Thakur, he gives the commentary for verse number 5, but we'll also go through the translation. These coward men have acted inimically towards me by taking shelter of this ordinary human being Krishna, who thinks himself very wise, but who is simply a foolish, arrogant, over-talkative child. Okay. So he says, Vishwanath Thakur says for verse number 5, by taking shelter of him, they did what is unpleasant to me, though I am God. He talks much. He has the habit of saying many disagreeable and inconsistent statements regarding the philosophies of Karma, Mimamsa, and Sankhya. So, if you remember earlier when Krishna was convincing Nand Maharaj, that time he was using the philosophy of Karma, Mimamsa, right? And later on, he also used the philosophy of Sankhya. So that's why Indra is, so the Acharyas, this is saying that this is how Indra is thinking. So Vachalam is equal to Mimamsa, Sankhya na bhimata viruddha bahu bhashinam. This is how he explains the meaning of Vachalam. This is what he speaks about. Karma Mimamsa and as well as the Sankhya philosophy. He is a fool. Balisham is equal to Murkham because he did not study those scriptures. He behaves badly. Stabdam is equal to Durvinitam, since he showed audacity even in front of his father. He doesn't know anything. Agyam is equal to Kim Api Ajananta, on account of grazing cows all the time. He considers himself learned and is a human. Martyam is equal to Manushyam. The real meaning is this. So because of him, even a fool becomes adorned by Saraswati. So Vachalam and Balisam, he explains in the following way. Vachaya Saraswatya Alankrita Balisa Murkho Api Yasmattam. So this is how he changes the meaning. He says that because of it, even a fool becomes adorned with Saraswati Devi. He does not vow. Stabdam is equal to a Namram. Since no other person is worthy of praise. So that's why Krishna does not bow down. No one is ignorant of him. Agyam is equal to na astigya yasmatam. And scholars keep giving him respect. Pandita mani nam is equal to Pandita Kartikko mana adaro vartate yasyatam. So this is how they reverse the meaning of what Indra is criticizing. Now we'll go to text number 6. Esam Shriya Vali Valiptanam Krishnena Ma Pitatmanam Dunuto Srimadaastambam Pashunayata Shanksayam. Synonyms: Esham, of them, Shriya, by their opulences, Avaliptanam, who are intoxicated, Krishnena, by Krishna, Adma Pita, fortified, Atmanam, whose hearts, Dunut, remove, Shri, based on their wealth, Mad, being maddened, Stambam, their false pride, Pashun, their animals, Nayata, bring. Sankshayam, to destruction. Translation. To the clouds of destruction, King Indra said, the prosperity of these people has made them mad with pride, and their arrogance is backed up by Krishna. Now go and remove their pride and bring their animals to destruction. Okay, so let's see what our Acharyas say here. So Vishwanath Thakur says that they are cocky. Cocky means they are full of contempt or pride. They have a lot of pride. They are proud people. Because their minds were made to have fairy energy by Krishna. The real meaning is, so this is a long sentence that is provided by Vishwanath Thakur. We won't read that. But so he says that make the resplendent lack of inactivity of them. Srimad Stambham is equal to Srimad Astambham. So he's combining the words Sri Mother. So he's combining Srimad and then which is remaining, he's combining that with Stambham. So it becomes Srimad Astambham, whose limbs are anointed as if with sandalwood paste. Go far away. Shower rain so that their immobility occasioned by chillness will dispel their heat and make their animals shake with a chill. Afterward, when Govardhan will be lifted by Krishna, lead the animals to the proper place, the base of it. That is, all of you should become the causes of leading the animals to the place which is the base of Govardhan, the bestower of intense joy. Verse number 7. Aham, one second. Aham chairavatam nagam aruyan anuraje vrajam marud ganer mahavegir nandagosht jigamsaya. Synonyms. Aham, I cha, also Airavatam, name Airavat, Nagam, my elephant. Aruya, riding, Anuvraje, will follow along. Vrajam, to Vraj. Marut Gane, accompanied by the wind gods. Mahavega, who move with great power. Nanda Ghost, the coward community of Nand Maharaj. Jigam Saya, with the intent of destroying. Translation. I will follow you to Vraj, riding on my elephant Airavat, and taking with me the swift and powerful wind gods to decimate the coward village of Nand Maharaj. Okay, so Srila Sanatan Goswami, he says that there are only a few of us. What power do we have in that matter? Suspecting this, he says, I am coming right after you. So Anu Vraje, while riding on Airavat with the intent to strike with a group of 49 winds, the coward village of Nanda. So the idea is that when you will run out of water, Airavat will provide assistance by drawing water with his trunk. Or on account of bhakti to the Lord, the coward village is Nanda. It delights the world. That is, it brings contentment to the world. It should rain only on the coward village, not on Madhupuri. So why he says like that? The reason is given. This too is implied, otherwise there would be fear from Kans, who is present. Okay, because Indra is fearful of Kans also, that if in case if there is excessive rainfall in Mathura, then Kans will get angry and he'll have to fight with him also. So he's afraid, and that's why he's asking to only shower rains in Madhupuri. Okay, now Jiva Goswami. So Jiva Goswami gives the same commentary, but with few additions. So it should rain only on the coward village, not on Madhupuri. This too is implied, and so is the desire to make friends with Kans. So Indra actually not just fearful of Kans, but he is thinking that I will make friends with Kans. So can you imagine, the demigods, they go to any extent to fulfill their desires, and they want to, first of all, they are trying to destroy Vraj, which is Krishna's own potency, own Dham. And he also is aware that Krishna is actually the supreme person. But he still wants to take a chance and he wants to make sure that I win finally. So he is willing to make friendship with Kams also, and he's willing to go against the Lord. So see, for one's selfish desire, one can go to any extent. So the real meaning of Jigam Saya is Jigam Mishaya, with the intent to go to Vraj. By taking the meaning of Gati of the verbal root Ha, Himsa, Gatyo, to hurt, to go. So this is Srila Jiva Goswami. Now we'll go to verse number 8. Shri Sukha Uvacha Itham Magavata Magavatyapta Mega Nirmukta Bandhana Nanda Gokulam Asa Re Hidayam Asur Ojasa. Sri Sukha Vacha, Srila Sukadeva Goswami said, Itham, in this manner, Magavata, by Indra, Agnyapta, order, Mega, the clouds, Nirmukta Bandhana, released from their bonds, although they were supposed to keep in check, supposed to be kept in check until the time for the destruction of the world. Nand Gokulam, the covered pastures of Nand Maharaj, Asa, by great downpours of rain, Hidayam Asu, they tormented Ojasa with all their power. Sukadeva Goswami said, on Indra's order, the clouds of universal destruction released untimely from their bonds to the covered pastures of Nand Maharaj. There they began to torment the inhabitants by powerfully pouring down torrents of rain upon them. Okay. So Vishnu Thakur comments that those clouds able to make one monumental ocean are released only during the time of universal dissolution. At this time, those clouds were freed by Indra without forcing the consequence, since he was out of his mind due to anger. So, as I was sharing that because of selfish desire, one can go to any extent. So these clouds, because of personal greed and envy, these clouds were released, and these clouds are not supposed to be released because they are the cause of universal dissolution. So, but when someone gets greed, then they can do anything. Okay, verse number 9. Vidyottamana vidyubhi stananta stanayit nubi tivrer marud ganer nuna vivarsur jala sharkara. Vidyottamana, being illuminated, vidyudbhi, by bolts of lightning, stananta, roaring, sta anayitu yitnubi, with thunder, tivre, fearsome, marudgane, by the wind gods, nuna, propelled, vivasnu, they poured down, jala sharkara, hailstones. Propelled by the fearsome wind gods, the clouds blazed with lightning bolts and roared with thunder as they hurled down hailstones. Okay, so this is from Bhavartha Deepika, Prakash. The groups of winds are these: Pravaha, Nivaha, Vivaha, Udvaha, Samvaha, Avaha, and Paravaha. So there is some additional comment here. It is mentioned in the Siddhanta Shiromani. The following 7 winds are listed. The winds of Bhu are Avaha, Pravaha, which is above it, Udvaha, after that Samvaha, then Suvaha, Parivaha, and Paravaha. These are the well-known winds, which this is quoted in Shabda Kalpadru. So according to Puranic Encyclopedia, the Puranic Encyclopedia, the wind called Pravaha moves clouds. Avaha causes thunder. Udvaha converts sea water into vapor and causes rain. Samvaha moves clouds in the sky. The clouds are the airplanes of the gods. Vivaha gives form and shape to clouds. Parivaha keeps Akash Ganga motionless. The soul travels with the seventh wind, Paravaha. So this is given in the Puranic encyclopedia. Moreover, the Prava wind is said to move all the stars and the planets. So this is given in Surya Siddhanta 12.73. And, and according to Apte's Sanskrit through English dictionary, Parivaha bears the seven rishis and the celestial Ganges also. Okay. So these are the different forms of clouds and their rules. Now, verse number 10. So because there is no commentary for the verse number 10, we'll just read the transition. As the clouds released torrents of rain as thick as massive columns, the earth was submerged in the flood, and high ground could no longer be distinguished from low ground. Okay, verse number 11. Ati asarati vatena pashavo jatavepana gopa gopescha sitartha govindam sharanam yayu. Ati, so there are some drawing markings that I see on the screen. Are you able to see that? I'm not sure why it's displaying like that.
Yes, we can see some.
Yeah, okay, all right. So I stopped sharing and then again I shared. So it's gone now. Okay. Yeah. So Ati Asara, by the excessive rainfall, Ati Vatena, and the excessive wind, Pashava, the cows and other animals, Jata Vipanna, trembling, Gopa, the coward men, Gopya, the coward ladies, Cha also, Sit, by the cold, Artha, distressed, Govindam, to Lord Govinda, Sharanam, for shelter, Yayu, they went. Translation: the cows and other animals shivering from excessive rain and wind, and the coward men and ladies pained by the cold, all approached Lord Govinda for shelter. Okay, so Srila Sanatana Goswami, he says, of those, the mention of the animals at the outset is with regards to the increase of cold. And for that reason, at first, he will give the details of the manner they went for shelter in the next verse. This and everything else took place only due to the Lord's desire for the fun of lifting Govardhan, or else for the sake of demonstrating the fact that false pride of wealth is the topmost cause of anarthas, insofar as otherwise those occurrences would be impossible in their case. They are dear to the Lord. Srila Jiva Goswami also gives the same commentary with some additions. Of those, the mention of the animals at the outset is because they were outside. The mention after them of the coward men is because most of them were outside. The mention of the coward ladies is because most of them were inside. It should be discerned in this manner. This and everything else took place only due to Lord's desire for the fun of lifting Govardhan, which increases the prem of the people of Vraj, and with the desire to demonstrate the fact that the false pride of wealth of Shakra, Shakra means Indra, and of others is the topmost cause of anarthas, insofar as otherwise those occurrences would be impossible in their case. They are dear to the Lord. So the only reason Lord is lifting Govardhan is because of his own desire. Actually, it's very interesting to know that Srila Rupa Goswami in his Laghu Bhagavatamrit, so he says that Indra, Brahma, Kaliya, they are all actually pure devotees of Krishna. And they are going against the Lord because of the Lord's desire. So they are willing to take that kind of role also, where they can fight with the Lord, or they can be envious of the Lord, or they can go against the Lord's desire for some time, and also rectify themselves after that, after the entire pastime gets over. So this is all the desire of the Lord. And that's why Rupa Goswami says that these are actually associates of the Lord. So till now, we have always heard that Indra and other demigods, they are actually mixed devotees. They are not pure devotees. But Srila Rupa Goswami, he is saying that depending on the desire of the Lord to arrange pastimes, they take on different moods and vows. And then they will implement those kind of acts according to the desire of the Lord. So this is, so one can clearly understand, because here Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami is also, they are also saying that ultimately it is the desire of the Lord. He wants to perform this pastime. And the reason for this is, of course, there are multiple reasons why the Lord does things, internal reasons, external reasons. But in general, the principle is that the Lord wants to do pastime, and that's why all these things will happen. And that's why you'll see that Indra will fall down at some point of time, and Brahma falls down. Lord Shiva also get attracted to Mohini Murti like that. Okay, so text 13. So we'll only go to the translation of verse number 12. So trembling from the distress brought about by the severe rainfall, and trying to cover their heads and calves with their own bodies, the cows approached the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Verse number 13. Krishna Krishna Mahabhaga Tvam Natham Gokulam Prabho Tatram Arasi Devanna Kupitad Bhaktavatsala. Krishna Krishna, O Krishna Krishna, Mahabhaga, all fortunate one. Tvat Natham, whose master is yourself. Go Kulam, the community of cows. Prabho, O Lord. Tatam Arasi, kindly protect. Devat, from the demigod Indra. Na As, Kupitat, who is angry. Bhakt Vatsala, O you who are very affectionate to your devotees. Translation. The coward man and woman address the Lord. Krishna, Krishna, O most fortunate one, please deliver the cows from the wrath of Indra. O Lord, you are so affectionate to your devotees. Please save us also. So see, you can also understand from the commentaries of the Acharyas how far they go in providing so many details. Like for example, you could not even think of, you know, you cannot think that they will comment about, why why Sukdev Goswami is speaking in a particular order. Like for example, in the previous verse, Jiva Goswami is saying that the mention of coward men is because they were outside. Then mention of coward ladies because they were inside. So you cannot even think of all these things, but they have that insight. So that's why they are able to give us all these things. All right, just 13th commentary by Srila Sanatana Goswami. So the repetition Krishna Krishna is either due to the affliction of cold or because of the nature of his name, which attracts the tongue. So here they are not calling out Krishna just once, but they are calling out repeatedly, Krishna, Krishna. And why is because maybe because they are feeling cold, or because that's the nature of the sweet, the sweet nature of Krishna's name, which attracts the tongue. So repeatedly it comes out naturally like that. In addition, Krishna itself is either with regards merely to the name or with the intent to express that he removes all sorrow. So Karshana. So Krishna is all attractive, and attraction, Karshana, Akarshan. So Karshan is also, it also means removes. So that means that he removes all sorrow. So that's how they address Krishna Krishna like that. The vocative Mahabhaga has already been explained in the context of the deliverance from a forest fire. At the end of the 17th chapter, O you who have multitude of bhagas such as Aishwarya, or O you because whom persons like us have considerable good fortune. So this is verse 10, 17, 23. Or that word is a part of the compound Mahabhagtvan Natham, the herd of cows whose master is you, because of whom they have great good fortune. Therefore, please protect our herd of cows, because our protection will automatically be accomplished when they will be saved. Or save our entire village. Na Gokulam is equal to Asmakam Gokulam Vrajam Eva Va Sarvam. Alternatively, the community and us. Devat means Indrat, not mentioning his name. So here they are not directly calling Indra's name. They are saying Devat. Not mentioning his name is either on account of animosity or because he has the tendency to commit sin. Another explanation is Devat Tatrapi Kupitat, from the god, not to mention that he is angry. So the sense is that we ordinary humans cannot keep away from the calamity that he did here. only you are qualified to save us. Arhasi is equal to Yogya Asi. But then what power do I have in this matter? In that regard, they say Prabho, that is, O you who have all powers. Given that we saw your other worldly powers when you thrashed Kalia and so on. But it would be wrong of me to use my powers against the gods. In that regard, they say, Hey Bhakta Vatsal. So the drift is that for your devotee's sake, there is no wrong at all on your part. Before, out of fear of the conflagration, the request was submitted to the Lord and to Baldev. And at this time, it is only submitted to the Lord, in as much as only He can extricate them from this very dangerous situation. Or it is because they have profuse and absolute affection only for Him. So Srila Vishwanath Thakur says, continuously recalling Garga's statement, Anena Sarva Durgani Yuyam Anjas Tarisyata. Because of him, all of you will easily overcome all difficulties. This is from 10th Canto 8, chapter 16. The cowards request him, being confident. So they are recollecting Garga Muni's statement that because of Krishna, everything will be resolved. And that's why they are praying to Krishna in confidence. So in such a great danger, only in Sri Narayan, entering in Krishna, can save us. So Vishwanath Thakur saying that the coward boys, they don't think that Krishna is God, and they don't think that he's got extraordinary powers like God, the same opulence, but they always feel that Narayan enters his body and then leaves his body, and that's how he's able to display all these wonderful opulences. Then Baldev Vidyabhushan. So he says that they ask for the end of their pain. The cows, the brahmanas, and mountain were revered only by your order. After we disregarded Indra, now he, angry due to being disrespected, is hurting the cows and others for whom you are the Devta. The cowards who had heard about and experienced his power took shelter of him, but did not voice this reproach to Krishna since he is the dearest. Look at the trouble that you caused. So see, here, Baldev Vishan saying that the cowards don't go to Krishna and blame him, that because of you all these things happened. So it's only because of their prem, their love, that they tolerate everything for Krishna's pleasure. So this is what Baldev Vidyabhushan adds to the commentary. Now verse number, this is 13. So yeah, verse number 14. I also remember one more thing, that because there is a mention of the forest fire, how Krishna swallowed the forest fire. So Srila Rupa Goswami also, he mentions that it is Bhakti Samrit Sindhu. And yeah, so he says that actually what happened, although Krishna swallowed the forest fire, but seeing Krishna in that kind of condition, because the coward boys, they all think that they're equal to Krishna in strength or in any way. They think that we are equal to Krishna. So what they did, they surrounded Krishna from all sides and they started crying. Now Rupa Goswami says they did not cry because of fear, but they started crying so that waters that will come from their eyes that will actually consume the forest fire. So that's why they actually try to protect Krishna by crying in the form of tears, that water can actually evaporate the entire fire like that. So okay, verse number 14. Shila varsati vatena hanyamanam achetanam dirikshya bhagwan mene kupitendra kritam hari. Shila of hailstones, Varsha by the rain, Ati Vatena, and by the extreme wind, Hanyamanam being attacked, Achetanam unconscious, Niriksha seeing, Bhagwan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, mean considered, Kupit angry, Indra by Indra, Kritam done, Hari, Lord Hari. Translation: seeing the inhabitants of his Gokul rendered practically unconscious by the onslaught of hail and blasting wind, the Supreme Lord Hari understood that this was the work of angry Indra. Okay. Commentary by Srila Vishwanath Thakur. So those various hardships of theirs, though they are the Lord's eternal parshads, was put in place only by the Lila Shakti for the sake of super eminently relishing the ras of the bliss of love, Premanand. It should be understood that those troubles only consisted of happiness because the ultimate consequence was happiness. Like the trouble of the hunger of those who are hungry and greedy enhances pleasure when they get to eat. So this is what Vishwanath Rao says, that all these hardships and troubles they underwent, actually it was blissful for them because ultimately the consequence was blissful. They got to associate with Krishna 7 nights. Everyone, all the rasas, they were like all there with Krishna, right from Shanta to Madhurya Ras. All five rasas they got to associate with each other under the umbrella of Govardhan, and so it was all arranged by the Leela Shakti of the Lord. Okay, so verse number 15. So 15 and 16 does not have anything to share, so I will just read the transition. Sri Krishna said to himself, because we have stopped this sacrifice, Indra has caused this unusually fierce, unseasonable rain together with terrible winds and hail. 16. By my mystic power, I will completely counteract this disturbance caused by Indra. Demigods like Indra are proud of their opulences, and out of foolishness, they falsely consider themselves the Lord of the universe. I will now destroy such ignorance. Verse number 17. नाईषद् भावयुक्तानां सुराणाम् ईश विस्मय मतो सातां मानभंग प्रशमया यो कल्पते na he no not he certainly sadbhav with the mode of goodness yuktanam who are endowed suranam of the demigods isha as controlling lords vishmai false identification matta by me asatam of the impure man of the false prestige hanga the eradication prasham maya prasham maya for relieving them upa kalpate is intended. Since the demigods are endowed with the mode of goodness, the false pride of considering oneself the Lord should certainly not affect them. When I break the false prestige of those bereft of goodness, my purpose is to bring them relief. Okay, so commentary by Sridhar Swami. But it might be objected, the gods are in the mode of goodness and are your devotees. So how can they possibly have ignorance? In that regard, he says, because of the overweening pride, we are gods of the gods who are endowed with goodness, or else with bhakti to me does not occur. They are bad. Moreover, in the second of the verse, he says, breaking their conceit is just a favor. So we are the gods. Isha Vishmaya is equal to Isha Vayam iti Vishmaya Garva. Of the gods who are endowed with goodness, Sad Bhava, Sattvam is equal to Sattvam Mad Bhakti Va. So this is how Sridhar Swami explains. Vishwanath Thakur, in this verse he says, I am not competing with Indra, who is extremely insignificant. Rather, out of mercy, I am curing the vice in him, my devotee that has arisen. So see, another interesting commentary by Rup Goswami, he provides this in Bhakti Samrit Sindhu. So he says that actually when Krishna, when Indra desired to destroy Vraj, now one may wonder that how can the Lord tolerate suffering of his most intimate devotees, Vrajvasis, most confidential, most intimate devotees, and of his abode, eternal abode, Vrindavan, Vrajdhan. So then it's mentioned that the Acharyas say that actually that point of time, Krishna immediately wanted to destroy the entire Swarga. That kind of anger arose in him. But then it got replaced by the emotion of compassion. So Krishna felt that actually who is Indra? Indra is like insignificant for me. Why should I waste my time in Indra? Why should I compete with him? He is totally insignificant. I mean, I cannot even compare with Indra. So whenever the Lord feels like that time his bhav of compassion arises in him and he will bestow compassion. So the same thing he does. That's why here also Vishnu Thakur says that I am not competing with Indra, who is extremely insignificant. So then he favors with his mercy. So then definitely he will bestow his favor by rectifying Indra like that. So verse number 18. तस्मान् मच्चरणं गोष्ठं मन्नाथं मत्परिग्रहं गोपाय स्वात्मयोगेन स्वयं मे व्रत ahit. Tasmat, therefore, mat saranam, having taken shelter of me, ghostam, the coward community, mat natham, who have me as their master, mat parigraham, my own family, gopaya, I shall protect, swa atma yogena, by my personal mystic power, sa I am this, me, I mean, may, by me, vrat, vow, ahita, has been taken. So, translation. I must therefore protect the coward community by my transcendental potency. For I am their shelter, I am their master, and indeed they are my own family. After all, I have taken a vow to protect my devotees. The Sanatana Goswami comments, only I am its protector, because only I am its Lord. Otherwise, there would be a diminution of the Aishwarya of mind alone. Additionally, it is my family, so it must be saved, even with a wrongdoing. Or it is my shelter, it maintains me. However, their sons, wives, and others are not their family. I am their family. To them, I am the only dear one. I protect with my yoga a special power of mine for my own, or I protect with a special power of mine which is resplendent. That is to say, it consists of a worldly pastime accompanied with extraordinary Aishwarya. Someone might think that entails a clearly visible and extraordinary Aishwarya here. In that regards, he says, so I am, and the rest. I observe that well-known oath of mine. Otherwise, that would constitute a break in his vow. I bestow constant fearlessness. So this is the vow that he has taken already earlier. I bestow constant fearlessness to one who just once surrenders and beseeches me by saying, I am yours. This is my oath. And this is from Ramayana. Alternatively, that oath is firmly observed by me. Exposing the arrogant pride of a Mahavir is for the sake of pacifying the cowards. This is commentary by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Verse number 19. Iti yuktvaikena hastena kritva govardhana chalam dadar leelaya vishnus chatrakam iva balaka. Iti thus uktva, having spoken, ikena, with one, hastena, hand, kritva, taking, Govardhan achalam, Govardhan hill, dadar, he held it, leelaya, very easily, Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, chatrakam, a mushroom, eva, just as, balaka, a child. Translation. Having said this, Lord Krishna, Vishnu himself, picked up Govardhan hill with one hand and held it aloft just as easily as a child holds up a mushroom. So Srila Sanatana Goswami says, with one hand is said because of the statement of Harivamsh, with the left hand. That's quoted in Harivamsh 2:18:31. And also because in that way Krishna showed off his body. Govardhan is well known by that name in the groups of big mountains, or it is so called in terms of being a benefactor of cows. It is a mountain by the derivation na katham apika dapi chalati iti achala. It does not move in any way at any point of time, and so it is achal. He easily held it, or he held it with a special curvature, such as the pose of his glorious right hand placed on his hip, because he is Vishnu whose boyhood was accomplished. Or the sense is he is Nanda's little boy. Thus, there was no transgression of Balya Leela in holding it. And so, only a special Balya Leela is illustrated by that. The name Vishnu is by the etymology Vishwam Vyapnoti iti Vishnu. He pervades the world and so he is Vishnu. Hence, the idea that an effort was involved is automatically repudiated. Or Balaka belongs to the example like some boy holds a mushroom. In this way, too, the sense is the same. In addition, the word Chatrakam, mushroom, it suggests this. Krishna held all of Sri Govardhan only by holding its base, like a person holds a whole mushroom by holding the bottom of its stem with one hand. This meaning was intended by Sri Vaishampayana, and who is um, the author of the Harivamsha. The hill was held by him while he had a gigantic form unnoticed by people. For instance, that hill conjoined with clouds was held with the left hand. Because of a magnificence or as the form of a home, at that time the mountain became as good as home. This is described in Harivamsh 2:1831. The Vidyadhars, the Nagas, the Gandharva, Apsaras collectively exclaimed, "This hill jumped with wings." This is also given in Harivamsh 2:1837. Otherwise, had he held the mountain with his very own hand, which is small, a very little height would have been obtained. And as a result, those statements would be incongruous. So if Krishna lifted the Govardhan with his small left hand, with a little finger, then you can just imagine what will be the height of, how much will be the height of Govardhan, because it cannot reach out to the clouds. So it is like, he's just providing some different angle of vision here, saying that it is possible that Govardhan had wings and started flying, or basically Krishna actually assumed a very gigantic form which was unseen. Okay, in truth, it is understood that holding it while being a gigantic form was just for the fun of dispersing the clouds with the peaks of Sri Govardhan. And so he held it as a pastime with the left hand. In truth, by letting them know that he had no fatigue, holding the hill was only for the purpose of enlivening those people of Vraj, whose sole concern is his happiness, even by disregarding their own lives. Otherwise, had all of them perished, an immense grief would have ensued. Or he held it just the way he was, that is, his body was not colossal, in such a way that Govardhan was high. So Govardhan could also have got tremendous height. Rajiv Goswami, he says, so this means that afterward, at the outset of the arrival of huge clouds, he led everyone to the place near Govardhan. He held it with the left hand on account of the statement of Harivamsha, which we have already quoted. He cut it off from the base and then lifted it up. This is understood since it was disjoined from the north of Manas Ganga because of the renown even nowadays of that area, well known from Vara Puran. I held the best of hills to save them. It well known Anakut is always worshipped by Indra. So where was this Govardhan hill lifted? This was lifted near Mansi Ganga, and it's a place called Chandrasarovar. So at that place, Krishna actually lifted the Govardhan hill, and this place is very close to Annakut. So I assume that many devotees from this forum, they have gone to Govardhan, and they must have realized this, that Mansi Ganga is not so far from Annakut. Okay, so he easily held it, or he held it with a special curvature, such as the pose of his glorious right hand on his hip. Yeah. Owing to the darshan of his same body in that way, because Balakas Chatrakam Iva, like a child picks up and holds a mushroom. The drift is he did not deviate from Balya Leela. It is thus shown that there was no effort involved. So here the point is again, Jiva Goswami is also saying the same thing as Sanatan Goswami, that there was no deviation from Balya Leela, because Krishna was still like a child, acting like a child and displaying powers of that of a child. Of course, we know from the Acharyas that they say that generally when someone grows to the age of 5 years, so Krishna is in the category of Kumar age from 0 to 5 years. Then he goes to big, and that category is called as Poganda, which is from 6 to 10 years. And then from 11 to 15 years, it is called as Kaishor. So Krishna, actually, it is mentioned by the Acharya that Krishna displays opulences, or his body is displaying such power and potency that the 5 years he covers that itself in 3 years and 4 months. So there is a gap of 1 year and 8 months. So that gap again is covered in the next cycle, which is, let's say, Poganda. Krishna is displaying the potency of 5-year-old child in his 3 years and 4 months of age. And similarly, he does that. He when he becomes 6 years and 8 months, that time he displays the opulence of Poganda, the end of the opulence of Poganda. And then finally, he turns out to be 9 months or 10 months and I think 10 years and 2 or 4 or 6 months, like whatever is the calculation. But when he reaches this age, then he will actually display his Keshor. Okay, so now that's why if you see the Govardhan hill was lifted when he was at the age of 7 years, and then after 1 year he had actually the Ras Leela pastime. So now how can an 8-year-old perform Ras Leela? He's very young, right? But because Krishna already achieved Keshor at the time of 8 years, because he was like much ahead of the ordinary living entities. The way they actually grow, Krishna was much ahead, right? So that's why Krishna displayed his Kaishor opulence even at the age of 8 years and 7 years also. Some portion of Kaishor he actually displayed at the age of 7 and 8 years. And our acharyas, they also say that Krishna is, because he has got his Achintya Shakti, so whatever age he may be a child also, he may be of 1 year also, but he can display the Kaishor age also at that particular moment. And at the Kaishor age, if he's even beyond 10 years or he is 15 years, then he can also display the opulence of a Kumar, which is it may be from 0 to 5 years, like that. So everything is possible in Krishna Leela because of his Achintya Shakti. Okay, so how did the body of a child lift the mountain? In that regards, he says Vishnu, in other words, by the inconceivable potency, is the pervader, even in that form. In the reading Krishna, the sense is the same. It is stated in that way, Sahasranam Stotra, Anirdashya Vapu Shriman Amiyatma Mahadridrik. His body cannot be defined. He has splendor. His soul is immeasurable. He sustained the great mountain. Kurma sustained Mandara. Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra 32. Therefore, the gist is the mountain became as high as desired. Consequently, the statement by Sri Vaishampayana, the hill was conjoined with the clouds. Harivamsh 2:18:31. Similarly, so it is understood that this was just for the fun of dispersing the clouds with the peaks of Sri Govardhan. So in that regard, it's inferred that he lifted Govardhan as follows. For the sake of being easily seen by the community, for the sake of special resplendence, and for the sake of holding it easily, upon disjoining the mountain from the portion of the mountain below ground, he ascended in conformity with his Lila Shakti. One pile of rocks which looked like paved mosaic and was located in the hollow in the middle. He sustained the middle part of the bottom of the mountain with divine hand and joyfully held it. So even hundreds of justifications regarding a refutation of the arrival of the outside water into the middle of the hollow are to be understood, all in conformity with his Lila Shakti. For example, Sri Harivamsha says, Sa Dhrita Sangato. Thus, he held it as a pastime with the left hand. In truth, by letting them know that he had no fatigue, holding the hill was only for the purpose of gladdening the people of Vraj, whose whole concern is his happiness, even by disregarding their own lives. Otherwise, had all of them perished, an immense grief would have been ensued. All the rest about is to be inferred in that way. So, Jeev Goswami, of course, now Sanatan Goswami writes a commentary on the Bhagavatam, which is called Brihad Vaishnav Toshni. And Jeev Goswami is commenting, he is basically editing the commentary of Srila Sanatan Goswami, and which is called Lagu Vaishnav Toshni. So that's how you will see that most of the points that Jeev Goswami is sharing is almost same as Sanatan Goswami, but then he also adds something of his own. Okay, now Vishwanath Thakur. So after talking to himself in this way, he uprooted it with one hand, the left one. That is said in Harivamsha. He held it as it were a mushroom. So this is understood. When he wanted to lift it, the rain, though it was such, was moved in the sky by the Samhariki potency and Amsha of Yogmaya, so that the turban, the clothes, etc. of the Lord, who was running with great speed from the porch of his house to lift Govardhan, did not get too wet. So this is again arranged by the Yogmaya potency of the Lord, which is called as Samhariki potency and Amsha of Yogmaya. And it arranged in such a way that the rain was moved in the sky in such a way that Krishna could, when he ran from the porch of his house to lift the Govardhan hill, so till that time the rain actually moved, and because of that Krishna's body did not get wet that much. So this is again arranged by the Leela of the Lord. Okay, verse number 20. Ataha Bhagwan Gopan he amba tattata vrajavkasa yato pajosam vishata giri gartam sa godhana. Translation, synonyms. Atha, then, Aha addressed Bhagwan, the Supreme Lord, Gopan, the cowards, hey, O Amba, mother, Tat, O father, Vrajak, O Kasa, O residents of Vraj, Yatha, Upas, Josam, as suits your pleasure, Vishata, please enter, Giri, this hill, Gartam, the empty space below, Sa, Godhana, together with your cows. Translation, the Lord then addressed the coward community, O mother, O father, O residents of Vraj, if you wish, you may come under this hill with your cows. Okay, so Srila Jeev Goswami says, how did all of Vraj fit in a hollow of Govardhan? That's also another question. Given that the size of Vraj is described in Harivamsha, Madhya Yojana Vistaram Tavad Gunam Ayatam. In the hollow, it was 8 miles in breadth and twice as much in length. Harivamsh 2:9:21. It is because it became very large by inconceivable potency. For instance, in Harivamsh, it is said, Shailot Patan Bhuresha. The hollow of the mountain denotes the part of the ground where the base of the mountain was uprooted. There is a justification only in a hollow, in consideration of being surrounded by winds and so forth. Srila Vishwanath Thakur says, how could all the inhabitants of Vraj fit at the base of Govardhan, which measures 3 krosh? In truth, even the strikes of hundreds of thunderbolts hurled by furious Indra were felt by Sri Govardhan, who had an inconceivable vitality only from the bliss of the touch of the Lord's hand, as though flower garlands were being slammed on his back, so that all people located in the town of Vraj, which measures 4 yojanas, and all the animals such as cows resided at the base of the hill, in such a way that there was enough room. Therefore, in Harivamsh, the Lord said, Shailo Patan Bhur Esha. Moreover, this is understood, the animals such as deers and hogs, the birds, all of which were on top of Govardhan. Notice the clouds which were raining and had reached the mountain slopes. According to Harivamsh, Sadrit Sangato Mega. The hill was conjoined with clouds, ascended to the high mountain peaks, and did not have any trouble, not even one bit. So the animals actually they climbed to the peak of Govardhan, and Govardhan, because it already touched the clouds, that's why it actually attained the height above the clouds. And of course, the clouds they were raining, so there was no question of the rainfall. Because the height of the clouds was less than the peak of Govardhan, and all the animals went to the peak of Govardhan, so they were not disturbed at all. So, like this, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti explains, and he says that even because of the touch of the Lord's hand, actually Govardhan expanded because of the bliss, and that expansion caused the Govardhan to increase in height and length, like that. All right, so 21. नात्रस्य वकार्यो मद दास्त्रदि निपातनाथ वातवर्ष भयनालम तत्राणम vitam hiva. You should have, okay, no, not trust fear here in this matter, whereby you karya should be felt, mat hasta from my hand, adri of the mountain, nipatanat of the falling, vat of the wind, varsh and the rain, bhayana with fear, alam enough, tat tranam, the deliverance from that, vitam has been provided. He certainly were for you. You should have no fear that this mountain will fall from my hand. And don't be afraid of the wind and rain, for your deliverance from these afflictions has already been arranged. So Srila Sanatana Goswami says that we fear that at some point in time it might fall from your hand, since you are a boy. So he responds to that in this verse. Fearing a continuous fall is okay. Yeah, sorry. So fearing a continuous fall of the mountain from my hand, or a fall because of someone such as Indra, is not worthy of being done by you all. Therefore, enough of the fear of wind and the rain. Meaning there is no purpose in being afraid. You should not fear because your deliverance from the wind and rain has already been arranged by me due to your fear of those two. Or your deliverance has been affected by you, by your worship of Govardhan. Or your deliverance from them has been arranged by Govardhan. Otherwise, how could I, a little boy, possibly hold this gigantic mountain? The name Govardhan is not mentioned out of respect in order to evoke their faith. Okay, verse number 22. Tatha nirvivishurgartam Krishna's aswasita manasa yatha akasam sadhana savraja sopajivina. Tatha thus nirvivishu, they entered Gartam, the hollow. Krishna, by Lord Krishna, Ashvasit, pacified, Manasa, their minds, Yatha, Avakasham, comfortably, Sa, Dhana, with their cows, Sa, Vraja, and with their wagons, Sa, Upajivana, together with their dependents, such as their servants and Brahmana priests. All their minds thus specified by Lord Krishna, they all entered beneath the hill, where they found ample room for themselves and all their cows, wagons, servants, and priests, and for all members of the community as well. So Sanatana Goswami says that they entered in such a way that the place was not crowded, in as much as Govardhan is very expansive. Nowadays, however, in Kali Yuga, most of the Govardhan is actually covered. Okay, verse number 23. Sutrid Vyatham Sukhapeksham Hitvater Vrajavasibi Vikshamano Dadara Dhrim Saptaham Nachalat Padat. Shut of hunger, thirst and thirst, Vyatham, the pain, Sukh of personal happiness, Apeksham, all consideration, Hitva, putting aside, They by them, Vraj Vasibi, the residents of Vraj, Vikshamana, being glanced upon, Dadar, he held, Adrim, the mountain, Saptaham, for 7 days. No, Achalat, he did not move, Padat from that place. Lord Krishna, forgetting hunger and thirst, and putting aside all considerations of personal pleasure, stood there holding up the hill for 7 days as the people of Vraj gazed upon him. So Sanatan Goswami and Jeev Goswami, they have same commentaries. They say the inhabitants of Vraj, including the cowards and the cattle, forgot all about their pain caused by hunger and thirst, and about pleasures such as lying down. Krishna was observed by them in special ways. That is, with great amazement and with much affection. The sense is he was their very life. Looking at him was not the only reason they gave up their pain and their expectations of comfort. It was also the purpose of giving those up. That they gazed at him helped him hold the mountain, since they made him joyful that way. It is said in Vishnu Puran, Krishna held the mountain which was completely stable, gazed at by the general population of Raj, whose joyful eyes were amazed, and his deeds extolled by the elated Gopas and Gopis, whose eyes were widened by love. Krishna upheld the mountain. Vishnu Puran 5:11, 20, 21. So he gave up pain and any expectation of comfort. Due to the Vrajvasi's glancing, he had no desire to sleep. He did not budge from the place where he had planted his feet. It is thus said that holding the mountain was very easily done. So because of Vrajvasi's justification, glances, Krishna also got enthusiasm, and it was very easy for him to hold the mountain for a long time. Vishwanath Thakur, he says, the Vrajvasis gave up their pain caused by hunger and thirst simply by gazing at him. It is said that way in Vishnu Puran. It's understood that Krishna stood by facing everyone. By continuously drinking the nectar of the beauty and sweetness of Krishna, the Vrajvasis felt no hunger, thirst, or fatigue. Krishna, too, by seeing the beautiful form of his beloved gopis, forgot about eating, drinking, and sleeping. The 7 days of continuous rain from the Samvarta clouds failed to flood the district of Mathura, because the Lord, simply by Ichcha Shakti, immediately dried up the water as it fell to the ground. To the Vrajvasis, the 7 days seemed like half an hour. So Vishwanath Thakur is bringing the gopis here, and of course, when Krishna sees the gopis, that will take him to another level. So that's how he was actually always with enthusiasm. He was not fatigued at all. And of course, in Anand Vrindavan Champu, Kavi Karnapur says that the entire purpose to live the Govardhan was to get a glance of Srimati Radharani at the end. So yeah, these are the internal reasons why Krishna is doing that. And there's a lot of fun in whatever pastime he does. It actually makes the Vrajvasis very blissful. Yeah, and then he also mentioned that whatever water was falling down to the ground, it all got immediately dried up. So immediately by his Leela Shakti. So 7 days was like a half an hour. And now we'll go to verse number 29. We'll read the translations. When Indra observed this exhibition of Lord Krishna's mystic power, he became most astonished. Pulled down from his platform of false pride and his intentions thwarted, he ordered his clouds to desist. Verse 25. Seeing that the fierce wind and the rain had now ceased, the sky had become clear of rain clouds, and the sun had risen, Krishna, the lifter of Govardhan, spoke to the coward community as follows. Lord Krishna said, my dear coward men, please go out with your wives, children, and possessions. Give up your fear. The wind and rain have stopped, and the river's high waters have subsided. 27. After collecting their respective cows and loading their paraphernalia into their wagons, the coward men went out. The women, children, elderly persons gradually followed them. Verse 28. While all living creatures looked on, Supreme Personality of Godhead put down the hill in its original place, just as it had stood before. Verse number 29. Tam premo vega nibrita ujau kaso yatha samiyu Parirambhanadibihi gopyascha sa sneham apujjayan mudah dadi akshatabir yuyujasa ashisha. So come to him, prema of their pure love, begat by the force, Vibrata fulfilled, Vraj Ukasa, the residents of Vraj, Yatha, each according to his position, Samiyu, came forward, Pari Rambhana Adibi, with embracing and so forth, Gopya, the coward ladies, Cha, and Sir Sneham, with great affection, A Pujayam showed their respect, Muda, joyfully, Dadi with yogurt, Akshata, unbroken grains, Adbi and water, Yuja, they presented, Sat, excellent, Ashisha, benedictions. All the residents of Vrindavan were overwhelmed with ecstatic love and they came forward and greeted Sri Krishna according to their individual relationships with him. Some embracing him, others going down to him, and so forth. The coward woman presented water mixed with yogurt and unbroken barleycorns as token of honor, and they showered auspicious benedictions upon him. Okay, so Sanatan Goswami and Jeev Goswami, they say, to describe their joyful reunion, Sukhdev Goswami speaks as though he is singing due to an upsurge of love. They approached him. The sense is that him who had held Govardhan to save the coward community, or else the Vrajvasis met him and hugged him, although he had shown such godly might. The reason for that is because of quickness and upsurge of love. Their zeal was caused by him. The word Adi means that they also gave blessings, smelled and kissed his head, took hold of his left arm and asked him questions about whether he was tired and the like. They did so suitably according to their status, either as elder, equal, or junior. The blessings were like defeat the wicked, protect the righteous, be rich, be powerful, delight your king. Vallabhacharya's commentary. The yogurt, the unbroken grains, and the water are ingredients for the customary homage among people of a certain region. Yogurt is used to draw tilak, unbroken grains of rice are put above it, and water is sprinkled over the top of the head. Text number 30. Yashoda Rohini Nando Ramascha Balinam Vara Krishnam Alinga Yujur Ashisha Sneha Katara. Yashoda, Mother Yashoda, Rohini, Nanda, Nand Maharaj, Rama, Balram, Cha also, Balinam of the strong, Vara, the greatest, Krishnam, Krishna, Alinga, embracing, Yuja, they all offered Ashisha, benedictions, Sneha, by their affection for him, Ka, Tara, beside themselves. Mother Yashoda, Mother Rohini, Nand Maharaj, Balram, the greatest of the strong, all embraced Krishna. Overwhelmed with affection, they offered him their blessings. So Sanatan Goswami and Jeev Goswami, they say, that Yashoda and others mentioned here were highly affectionate and were behind the other coward men and ladies. Rohini's name is stated before Nanda's either because she is Yashoda's assistant or because he gives her extra respect. Baldev is the best of the strong, although he too had the ability to lift Govardhan in as much as in his form as Shesha is Amsh. He nonchalantly holds the earth on one spot on his head. But he did not want to interfere because he knew that Krishna wanted to perform this pastime. Or the sense of Balinam Vara is he gave Krishna a big hug. Having lost their gravity because of their affection, they gave blessings which were of this nature. Protect us for a long time. May you always be happy. May all your desires be fulfilled. So in the ancient images of holding of Govardhan, this is sometimes seen. The two mothers, they are offering fresh butter to eat and so on. And the father and the brother lean on Govardhan with their heads. All this is implied by the mention that they were beside themselves with affection. Vishwanath Thakur says, Sukhdev Goswami points out that these ones, his mother and the others, are very special. The mention of Ram here in the group of those who have Vatsalya is not inapplicable simply because he is older than him. Someone might think Balram is very affectionate. So why he did not assume his form of Shesh and enact the great feat of holding up Govardhan on behalf of his younger brother? The answer is that Krishna had already planned to do so. Because I am the one who stopped Indra's sacrifice and initiated the sacrifice for Govardhan, I myself shall protect Vraj by lifting Govardhan. verse number 31. Divi Deva Gana Siddha Sadhya Gandharva Charana Tustu Tustuvur Mumuchus Tusta Pushpa Varshani Parthiva. Divi in the heavens, Dev Gana, the demigods, Siddha, the Siddhas, Sadhya, the Sadhyas, Gandharva Charana, the Gandharvas and Charanas, Tustu, they recited the Lord praises, Mumuchu, the released, Tusta, being satisfied, Pushpa Varshani, downpours of flowers, Parthiva, O King Parikshit. Translation: in the heavens, O King, all the demigods, include the Siddha, Sadhyas, Gandharvas, and Charanas, sang the praises of Lord Krishna and showered down flowers in great satisfaction. So Sanatana Goswami and Jiva Goswami says, the gods too, not only the Vrajvasis, they felt rapture. This is expressed in 2 verses. Why did they praise him despite the fact that Indra felt miserable? Because the sacrifice meant for him was cancelled. In that regard, Sukdev Goswami says, Tusta, content. This means that they were joyful for 2 reasons. So now you can understand that demigods, who are actually the entourage of Indra, they themselves are actually happy because Indra's pride is crushed. So these are the reasons given. The arrogance of Indra was committing a crime was broken, and they witnessed Krishna's very sweet fun. With Parthiv, O king, Sukdev addresses Parikshit out of astonishment. The gods were happy that the king of gods was unhappy. Or the idea is that the gods favored the Lord over Indra, like the citizens favor the king over a senator. It's understood, however, that Indra was not angry that his arrogance had been crushed. Verse number 33. And with this, we'll end this chapter also. So we'll read the translation for 32 and then we'll go to verse number 30. Okay. Verse number 32. My dear Parikshit, the demigods in heaven resoundingly played their conchs and kettle drums, and the best of Gandharvas, led by Tumburu, began to sing. Verse number 33. Tato nurukte pashupe parishrito rajan swagoshtam sabalo avrajadhari tatha vidanyasya kritani gopika gayantyayur mudita ridisprisha. Tata, then, Anurakta, loving Pashupa by the coward boys, Parishrita surrounded Rajan, O king, Swagostam, to the place where he was tending his own cows. Sabala, together with Lord Balram, Avrajat went off, Hari, Krishna, Tatha Vidani, such as this lifting of Govardhan, Asya of him, Kritani, the activities, Gopika, the coward girls, Gayantya, singing, you, they went, Mudita, happily, with this pressure of him who touched them within their hearts. Translation: surrounded by his loving friends and Lord Balram, Krishna then went off to the place where he had been tending his cows. The coward girls returned to their homes and singing joyfully about the lifting of Govardhan Hill and other glorious deeds performed by Lord Krishna, who had so deeply touched their hearts. Okay, so commentaries by Srila Jiva Goswami and Sanatana Goswami is the same. While as if singing in exultation as before, he narrates Krishna's entrance in village. He was surrounded by them. They were affectionate. Sir, he means the one who held Govardhan to save Vraj. Sometimes the reading Ishwa Gostam instead of Sa Gostam. Once in the village, he went home. Here the name Hari is used in the sense that he dispelled Harana, the Vrajvasi's afflictions caused by Indra, and because he is a charmer, Mano Harana. The gopis became more happy than anyone else. They sang. It is thus shown that they had the ability to compose songs right then and there. And finally, Srila Vishwanath Thakur says, Sukadev means to say, Krishna and his beloveds had met only by exchanging sidelong glances from afar, unnoticed by all. At the time of departure, those girls sang with love. The gopis sang about his feats from Govardhan to the village. Hriday Sprisha means the gopis touch the heart, that is, both the heart and the mind. Or Hriday Sprisha is an adjective asya of him. Krishna, their lover, touched their hearts. All right, so with this, we conclude the commentary of the Acharyas on the 25th chapter of Krishna Lives the Govardhan Hill. Of course, because of time constraint, we'll not be able to do the third chapter, which is Indra and Surbi prayers, offer prayers to Krishna. So that will continue next year, part 3. So, all right. Okay, so if there are any comments or any questions, then we can take now for some time. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, my Dandat Pranam to you, Shubh ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for, continuing from last year and then henceforth also continuing forward, So it's, all the preparation and all the knowledge that you're giving us, it's with so much of effort. It's amazing, So thank you. I always, when I hear of Govardhan Leela, it is so hard for me to understand, especially when I see the Govardhan and how Krishna, like a baby Krishna, has so much of potency that he can easily lift the mountain. And the more we hear this Leela, it is very, very enchanting. And there is no doubt that we have to understand that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Firstly, because he's a baby, and then on his little baby finger, he's catching such a big Govardhan. It is so unimaginable. It is just, how much power Krishna has. Doesn't matter he's a baby or in the war. So very, very nice. I don't have a specific question, but thank you so much for enlightening us, Prabhuji. If anybody has any question, comments, they can ask now.
So
thank you.
Acharyas who have given excellent commentaries, elaborate commentaries on all these pastimes of the Lord. Yes, Madhuri.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I love the verse 22, which tells like when he lifts when Lord Krishna lifts the Govardhan Giri, he tells the people to have faith. So that is like very hard thing, but it teaches like how to develop faith, right?
Yeah.
And I love the way you narrated. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so actually what I was doing, I was only reading from the commentaries, because only reason is that it's I've got limited time, and if I try to memorize all the small details of the Acharyas, it would not be possible for me. So
Yeah.
I just thought that let me narrate so that you will not miss out many points, brilliant commentaries that our Acharya has given. Otherwise, there's a tendency we can also go, we can divert and we can skip certain points. So the best thing is that, okay, let me just read it, because it's very elaborate.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of, I think it can consume a lot of time to memorize all these things. And it has to be done repeatedly. It's not a matter of just one time sitting and reading and remembering everything. You'll have to sit for multiple times, and then you'll be able to remember. But as we keep on reading, of course, the essential points of the commentaries, they are definitely, we can remember that. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Yeah, it was very, very wonderful to hear so many details, in detail you mentioned. I know it needs a lot of study. So thank you for bringing all this unknown knowledge, I can say, it's not written on any specific books, but, I know you had done a lot of hard work for that. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. All goes to our Acharyas and the devotees who have translated the works of the Acharyas. So actually, there are a lot of details also. After finishing the multiple commentaries of Acharyas, I will be also sharing from Kavi Karnapu's Anand Vrindavan Jampu, because he has given in a lot of detail the entire pastime of Govardhan as well as Damodar Leela and many Leelas that happened in Kartik month. So I just thought that we'll not be able to justify everything due to limited time. So one by one we'll go forward, and next time we'll have the third part of Govardhan. And if there are 2 sessions, then maybe we can do the third part, and then we'll also discuss from the Anand Vrindavan Jampu. And then, of course, Jeev Goswami has also given elaborate commentary in his Gopal Chambu in the form of stories. So there's so many things, like so many acharyas, they have given commentaries. This is basically the commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, but now they have personally written books also. That's a different thing. Then they have elaborately described each and every detail in that. So a lot of nectar we have. We'll have to live for the entire kalpa, at least for the entire kalpa.
Yeah, actually, small things, like Krishna not get wet, these things normally no one discusses, like, so we never thought also on those points, like Krishna is holding Govardhan, that's what we know, but what are the actual happenings,
Yeah, the thought process
and
of Krishna, Brajvasis,
yeah,
what they are thinking, feeling, and why they are doing like this. And then the Acharya also explaining the Sukdev Goswami is using specific words in the sloka. And then they are realizing and recognizing, identifying that, and then they are explaining why he said like that. So
yes, yeah. Even Gajendra Moksha, that pastime has so many backgrounds, like you mentioned about the conch shell and Sudarshan, they, or maybe Shankar Chakra Gada, they are moving so fast, so yes, like they are the ever-time companions of Lord Krishna, so that wherever he moves, they also follow the same thing what happened during the Gajendra Moksha. And so, yeah, but yeah, that made me to uh, remember this pastime. And so when you were telling about you mentioned something, right, Rory, about
yeah,
chakra,
the
right?
Samariki potency of the Lord, it was moving the rain in such a way that Krishna, when he speedily ran from his porch to the
Mm,
Govardhan, to lift the Govardhan, so the rain could not like it was arranged in such a way that not a single drop of water actually fell upon him. So that
mm,
also
yeah.
detail. And acharyas, they explain in different ways. Some explain like this, some say some in a different way. Like for example, even the Rasli also, one acharya says that Krishna actually expanded himself in 16,000 gopis. Okay, but one acharya says that the same Krishna, he ran so swiftly that everyone thought that he's with me. So it's the same Krishna. But see, the thing is, we try to record time by our own observation, right? But Krishna can run, he can run so swiftly that the least amount of time that we measure, the Lord can actually move swiftly than that also. And that's why we cannot even measure how fast he can run. So that's why, so like, if you, like, for example, one of the blades of the fan, it's in one place. But if the fan rotates very fast, extremely fast, then you will see that, like the blade is everywhere. You'll not be able to make out,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like that. So Krishna
Mm,
ran swiftly like that. And so all the gopis thought that Krishna is present only with me.
mhm,
In reality, he was with everyone, but everyone thought like that. So one acharya says like that, one other acharya says that he expanded himself in 16,000 forms, like that. So it's like
yeah.
a lot of details. Like, I mean,
Mm,
as we say that Krishna is unlimited, and so when Krishna appears in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. So the Bhagavatam is also compared with the body of Krishna. And that's why all these verses, they are actually like fitting in the body of Krishna. And you can perceive Krishna in infinite ways, right? From his feet to his head. So then that's how Bhagavatam is also perceived in infinite ways. The first two cantos are the feet of Krishna. The last two cantos are the head of Krishna. So, and 10th canto is the smile of Krishna, right? So
mm,
that way
yeah,
also you perceive infinitely the Srimad Bhagavatam.
mm. Probably this all details like they are mentioned in Bhagavatam or any other Puranas also.
So see, one thing if you have noticed, our acharyas, what they do is when they are writing books or when they are commenting on particular scriptures, they are also commenting, they are also using other scriptures as a reference. For example, uh, very repeatedly, they have quoted Harivamsh, Vishnu Purana, and some other scriptures also. Continuously they do that. And this is what I've seen also personally, because I have read most important works of the acharyas. So I see this repeatedly, that there are details which are not given in the Bhagavatam or other. I mean, Bhagavatam is the main praman or the scripture for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. But then Bhagavatam also, the most important principle of Ras Tattva is given in Bhagavatam, which is not given anywhere else. Okay. So, but then the details, they are not given in Bhagavatam. Not so many details are given in the Bhagavatam. That's why the Acharyas, they repeatedly quote from Padma Puran, Brahma Vaivat Puran, Harivamsh Puran, and Skanda Puran, so many others, so many of them. Not just the scriptures in the mode of goodness, but scriptures from all of them in the mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. All of them. They will keep quoting that. And in fact, it's very surprising that we know Krishna appears once in a day of Brahma, right? Everyone knows. They have heard about it. He appears only once in a kalpa, right? Now, what is the praman for this? Is this given in Bhagavad Gita? It is given in Bhagavatam. Where it is given? Actually, it is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is actually a Gaudiya Vaishnava scripture. But then, see, this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. But where is the praman? Because outside of Gaudiya Vaishnava parampara, they will ask for evidence that you are saying Krishna only appears once. Because see, this is also a very important detail. They will say that, okay, you, anyways, ISKCON people are Krishna fanatics. And you say that Krishna's appearance was very rare. You know, he does not come in every Dwapar Yuga. So you are making him very special. They will say like that. So then what is the praman? So then Rupa Goswami in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, he quotes from, I think it's the Kurma Puran or the Matsya Puran. And then he says, he describes about the days of Brahma, the 30 days of Brahma. And then he says that in one day there are 14 Manus and then 7th Manu. And then finally he says 28 cycle of the 7th Manu, Krishna appears. So this is given in this particular Puran. Now, this information, actually, if we see the appearance of Lord Narsimhadev. Now, Narsimhadev also appears once in day of Brahma, actually, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, because he appears in, now, which Manu does Narsimhadev appears? He does not appear in Vaivastha Manu time. He appears in Chakshusha Manvantar, which is 6th Manu. Okay, and that is understood from the Srimad Bhagavatam. That you can understand because there is a pastime of Daksha. And then suddenly it goes to the story of Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. So it is connected. You can understand from the flow and you can derive that, okay, then finally Narsimhadev has to appear because Daksha appeared in 6th Manu. That is given. So this is how you can understand. But for Krishna, how can we derive Krishna's time appearance? That is not so clear from Bhagavatam. We'll have to delve into it. And similarly, Lord Ramchandra also, Srila Rupa Goswami writes in Laghu Bhagavatamrita that Lord Ram appears in the 25th cycle of Vaivastha Manu. He is not appearing the 28th cycle. Krishna is there in 28th cycle. And we think that Ram appeared in Treta Yuga of this cycle. But this is 25th cycle, 3 cycles before Lord Ram appeared. One cycle consists of the Divya Yugas, Satya, Trita, Dwapar and Kali Yuga. Okay. So, Lord Ram actually did not appear, whereas Prabhupada said in one or two contexts, he said that Ram actually appeared in our Treta Yuga. So that's another thing. But Rupa Goswami establishes it based on scriptures, Praman. So this is how actually the Acharyas, they repeatedly make use of the other scriptures in order to establish certain points.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay.
Anyone else has a question, they can wait for 2 minutes. Yeah. If no question, then we can end the call, Prabhuji.
Yes. Okay.
Wait for
Prabhuji,
2 more.
you have, are you going to visit India? Mataji has already left.
No, no, Mataji already left. Yeah,
Ah.
she is
So-
reaching to.
When are you going to arrive?
Will be like 28th
Acha,
of
28th
this month. Yeah.
Okay. Acha, so then you will be
Yeah.
coming to Mumbai also, right?
Yes, yes, we will be coming to Mumbai.
Yeah. Then we will meet. You can come to our house and we can have some nice association prasadam together. Like,
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah,
we can go to Eco. Have you visited Eco Village?
yeah, we visited, but
Acha, okay.
we have planned to visit. We'll see
Yeah,
how
but
it
Mataji
goes.
was
Yeah.
mentioning about the Thane Balkum temple. So we just shifted from Jew to Mulund, and Mulund is very close to Thane.
Okay.
So we can go to the Balkum temple also. Like, you have not
Yeah,
seen.
I think she has ample of time, so she can move around. Yeah, I am there only for 3 weeks. Yeah,
Acha, okay.
so yeah, me and my daughter will be traveling.
Yeah, okay. So
Fine,
anyways,
yeah.
I will be meeting Mataji tomorrow in Pune.
Yes. NVCC temple. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
yes, Prabhuji.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. So thank you all the
yes,
devotees
Prabhuji. Yeah,
for your
thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
association and mercy and your blessings. So,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Vanchakalpadrukascha,
Vanchakalpadravesha.
Vivinam Pavanebhyo
Vaishnaveyo,
Vaishnavebhyo,
Vaishnaveyo, Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai,
Jai.
Namakarita Thakur ki jai,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.